In his Communist Manifesto of 1848, Karl Marx wrote, "The theory of the Communists may be summed up in a single sentence: abolition of private property. You reproach us with intending to do away with your property. Precisely so, that is just what we intend." How have we adopted Marxism? To this end, he advocated abolition of property rights and application of all rates to the state. A heavy progressive graduated income tax to confiscate earnings. Abolition of rights of inheritance by taxing inheritance. Confiscation of the property of emigrants and all rebels to the state. Centralization of credit in a national bank with an exclusive monopoly on money supply. Centralization of the means of communication and transport in the hands of the state. Factories and instruments of production to be owned by the state, wilderness areas to be nationalized. All to be put to work by the state. Establishment of industrial armies, especially for agriculture. Combination of agriculture with manufacturing industries, gradual abolition of all the distinctions between town and country. Free and compulsory education for all children in state schools. Abolition of religion. Karl Marx wrote, "The abolition of religion is a requisite." In the Communist Manifesto, Karl Marx wrote, "Communism abolishes eternal truths, it abolishes all religion and all morality." Marx wrote, "I wish to avenge myself against the one who rules above. I shall build my throne high overhead, cold, tremendous shall its summit be. For its bulwark, superstitious dread. For its marshal, blackest agony." Karl Marx wrote to his father, "New gods have to be installed." Darkness. In his drama, Olanum, he wrote, "The hellish vapors rise and fill the brain, till I go mad and my heart is utterly changed. See this sword. The Prince of Darkness sold it to me. For me beats the time and gives the signs evermore boldly I play the dance of death." Destruction. Marx loved to quote the words of Faust, "Everything in existence is worth being destroyed. If there is something which devours, I'll leap within it, though I bring the world to ruins. The world which bulks between me and the abyss, I will smash to pieces with my enduring curses. Without violence, nothing is ever accomplished in history. Chosen for hell. Thus heaven I've forfeited, I know it full well. My soul, once true to God, is chosen for hell. To bring this world to ruins." In his poem, Human Pride, Marx wrote, "With disdain I will throw my gauntlet full in the face of the world, and see the collapse of this pygmy giant whose fall will not stifle my ardor. Then will I wander god-like and victorious through the ruins of the world, and, giving my words an active force, I will feel equal to the Creator." Demon-possessed. Karl Marx's good friend, Frederick Engels wrote, "Karl Marx is a monster possessed by 10,000 devils." Devilish. Robert Paine, a friend of Karl Marx, wrote that Karl Marx had the devil's view of the world and the devil's malignity. Sometimes he seemed to know that he was accomplishing the works of evil. God is our enemy. Karl Marx wrote that he wanted to hurl gigantic curses on mankind. Marx quoted positively from Paris Communard, Florenz, who declared, "Our enemy is God. Hatred of God is the beginning of wisdom." The family of Karl Marx. Karl Marx's family life was a disaster. He had 7 children by his wife, Jenny, and another by his housemaid Helen Demuth. One of his daughters, Eleanor, married Edward Aveling, a Satanist known for his blasphemous lectures on the wickedness of God, and for his poem to Satan. 3 of Karl Marx's children starved to death. 5 of his children died prematurely. 2 of his daughters committed suicide, as did his wife. Karl Marx wrote that he did not love anyone and that he was entirely comfortable with hatred. Racist. He referred to the Slavic people, like Russians, as ethnic trash, and prophesied that their very name will vanish. He dismissed Mexicans as lazy, and Negroes as frozen at prehistoric levels, who would never contribute anything worthwhile. War against the family. Karl Marx wrote, "We destroy the most hallowed oblations, when we replace home education with social atheism and hatred." Vladimir Lenin declared, "Atheism is the natural and inseparable part of communism. We must hate. Hatred is the basis of communism." War against God. Under Vladimir Lenin, One of the slogans of the Soviet Union was, "We fight against God to snatch believers from Him." A prominent slogan of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union was, "Let us drive out the capitalists from the earth, and God from heaven." Hatred of God. Alexander Solzhenitsyn declared, "The world has never before known a godlessness as organized, militarized and tenaciously malevolent as that preached by Marxism." Within the philosophical system of Marx and Lenin, and at the heart of their psychology, hatred of God is the principal driving force, more fundamental than all their political and economic pretensions. Militant atheism is not merely incidental, or marginal, to communist policy, it is not a side effect, but the central pivot. To achieve its diabolical ends, communism needs to control a population devoid of religious and national feeling, and this entails a destruction of faith and nationhood. Communists proclaim both of these objectives openly, and just as openly put them into practice.